What's going on, everyone? So, a lot of Giannis to the Lakers talk, of course, because one, it's the Lakers. Two, it's Giannis, star, superstar, right? One of the best players in the league. Lakers just got Luka. So, of course, there's that conversation. Now, I do think it's incredibly unlikely. Never say never. Stranger things have happened, right? But even like the Luka trade, I understand the whole idea of like, hey, Lakers just got Luka, so anything can happen. Yeah, but we traded Anthony Davis, Max Christie first, right? Like we didn't just give up like Rui Hachimura and Gabe Vincent, right? We gave up like actual assets, and now you don't have those assets, right? But again, I want to be clear. I think it is incredibly unlikely that the Lakers land Giannis. I think it's a bit of a pipe dream, but look, Giannis has interest in the Lakers. Could he potentially strong arm his way to the Lakers? Sure. But here's the thing. He has multiple years on his deal. So there's probably a team out there that would be willing to do like the Donovan Mitchell thing that the Cavs did, where it's like, let's just get him and then figure it out, right? And take a chance on him leaving, right? Two, he can't just like it has to make sense for the Bucks, right? The Milwaukee Bucks, they are in purgatory. They are in the worst position they could possibly be for an organization. They have no upside, no potential. They're salary cap strapped, second apron, right? They have no assets for the next 5 years at least, right? Like they're stuck. Right? Their other star, Damian Lillard, is going to be out for a year, which is incredibly unfortunate, but they're stuck. So they can't just make a trade. Just it has to make sense, right? So the problem is I look at a team like Houston. That might be the best place for the Bucks. Even if Giannis doesn't really want to go there. For the Bucks, because can you get a Şengün, a Tari Eason, right? Can you get a Cam Whitmore and a Reed Shepherd, right? Or Shepherd Reed or whatever, right? Like, can you get something like that? Right? Now, all of a sudden, it's like, if you're Houston, that makes it, because it's like you still have Fred VanVleet, you still have Dylan Brooks, you have Amin Thompson, you have Giannis, right? Like, you're still good. You're still probably one of the best teams in all of basketball, right? You still have Jalen Green, right? Like, you're in great shape. Maybe you have to use Jalen Green for salary fill or whatever, right? You figure it out. But there's just other teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and whatnot, right? So here's the question is okay, Tyler, if that's the case, what is there an advantage that the Lakers have? Right? Is there anything that the Lakers can kind of swing it in a way to where it's like, hey, this is why we're the best destination. So why our package would be the best? And the answer is yes, but I think it's a bit of a stretch, right? I don't think it's as oh, hey, it's because we have this, right? Or it's because we have this. But your biggest sell if you're the Lakers for Giannis is you have expiring contracts, right? All the picks that teams are going to give you are probably not going to be great picks. Why? Because they're going to have Giannis and whatever other star that they have, right? So they're probably going to be really good. If OKC goes, yeah, OKC has a bunch of other picks, but they don't have these great picks, right? Like, you're not getting a bunch of lottery picks, right? So it's like, okay, you're a team that needs, you got to understand what the Bucks need. They need either young players, not really draft picks, players that can help them kind of grow and stay afloat, or they need talent that can make them a playoff team for the next few years. So that way they're not, because they can't bottom out, right? So they either need a Houston route where you're getting a bunch of young players that you basically already have your foundation and you're good, or you need a team like the Knicks where you can get, OG and Mikal Bridges and all this other stuff to maybe round out a roster enough to be at least a playoff team to where you're not bottoming out. Or you need a clean slate, wipe the board, here you go type thing, right? And that to me is where the Lakers have the advantage, right? Again, I want to be clear. I don't think they have advantage over these other teams, right? If Houston comes in and is like, hey, basically take whatever you want besides Amin Thompson, then I think that's it. He's going to the Rockets, right? If OKC's like, we'll give you Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, right? The good Jalen Williams, not the big man Jalen, or you could have both Jalen Williams if you want, right? We'll give you, Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams plus whatever other filler and stuff to go get Giannis, and then we'll give you a bunch of draft picks. Yeah, he's going to OKC, right? If the Spurs are like, hey, we'll give you Stephon Castle and a bunch of picks and all this other stuff, then yeah, he's probably going to the Spurs, right? There are several other teams that I think, regardless, even with the Lakers' big kind of argument play, just make more sense for Houston. But if you're Rob, your best argument is like, hey, look, yes, you could go trade with the Brooklyn Nets, right? Once Brooklyn's on that list of teams. Well, Nick Claxton has, 3 years, like 75 million, right? Cam Johnson still has like 2 years or 2 or 3 years of like 50 million, right? Like, okay, you could trade with the Knicks. OG, Kel Bridges, multiple years, whatnot, right? Like, do you want all that long-term salary? Do you want to take on all those long-term contracts? Well, what do we got? Yeah, we can't give you the players and, like the overall talent, but we can give you enough guys to where you can stay afloat for a year, and then whatever guys you really like, you can keep around, but you can just clean the deck, right? If you do all these other trades, guess what? You're still in purgatory. You're still in salary cap hell. You're still a second apron team and you're still stuck. But we can get you out of stuck. Yeah, we can't get you the fancy names and what all that stuff, right? But we can get you unstuck. Right? If, maybe the Lakers could even hey, tell you what, why don't we have the salaries between like Kleba, Rui, everything else, right? Gabe Vincent, whatnot, right? We have the salaries between this guy. Let's see what we can go get for Austin Reeves, right? Let's keep this, do the Luka thing. Hey, keep this between us. Let's go see what we can get from Austin Reeves. Maybe we can get you a couple younger. Maybe we can talk to, Houston and get, 2 young guys or something like that. That now we can add that to the expiring contract. So at least you have a young foundation, or maybe one of these teams, maybe Detroit would be willing to give us, some young talent, right? Jaden Ivey or whatever, or a Portland or whatever, right? Like maybe we can get you a couple young, 2 young guys to pair with all these expiring contracts, boom, and pull the deal. And then we'll still give you the first and we'll give you the pick swaps and all that other stuff, right? Like that to me is the only play that the Lakers have. The only play that the Lakers have is we can do what no one else can, and that is clean the deck for you. We can just wipe the board entirely, right? You don't have to, you can now hit the reset button on your franchise. But here's the cons, right? As great as that sounds, again, they can't bottom out. So even if they do want to wipe the board, right, they need to do something, right? They need to get players that they can build a foundation on. And 2, Milwaukee isn't really a prime free agency destination, right? So even if they were to clear the deck, even if they were to wipe the deck and have all this salary cap, well, now what? Who are you signing with it? Having a bunch of salary space is great, but you can't sign anything, right? If you can't get any stars or any players or anything, and now you're bottoming out anyway, right? So it doesn't benefit you anyway, right? Now you could argue, it gives you a couple years to kind of work stuff out. You're probably bottoming out regardless. So, hey, let's, at least you're doing it without spending a bunch of money, or at least you're doing it without having to pay all this luxury tax and all this other stuff. That would be my argument, right? If you're Rob Pelinka, that's the selling point, in my opinion, is that we can give you what no one else can give you. And that is expiring contracts, right? Or I talked about this in a previous video where Lakers should just get into the pieces business, the Giannis pieces. Don't focus on Giannis. Let another team get Giannis, and you use your expiring contracts to get the pieces that you want, right? So if they trade to a Clippers, right? Well, Zoo, Chris Dunn, Norman Powell, all these guys, they have multiple years on their deal, right? You're getting the picks and the players and all this other stuff. Well, we can do the same. We can get you the same thing, right? But our guys are expiring. So what would you rather have? Or, the Brooklyn Nets. It's okay, Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton. It's okay, yeah. Well, that's 130 million over the next, 2-3 years. Or we could get you or give us those guys, and then we'll give you the expiring contracts, right? That's where I think the Lakers should best focus their energy and time, right? Same thing with Houston. It's hey, why don't we give you, an Austin Reeves instead of, and then you give us Jabari Smith and whatever, a Cam Whitmore, right? Because you need to kind of stay afloat, right? So you get Şengün, you get, whatever, Reed Shepherd, and you get all these other guys, right? And then we we'll give you like an Osprey. You give us these two young guys that just make more sense and fit better for the Lakers and give the Lakers a useful foundation alongside Luka, right? Like that is where I think the Lakers should look and shift focus and kind of use their advantages to get that from these other teams. Like to me, the Lakers' best talking point for the Bucks is we have the expiring. We have the assets to get you out of your purgatory, right? None of these other teams have that ability. Only we do. So let us help you and you help us. And it's this mutually beneficial thing, right? It's this mutual thing where we're all winning, right? You're getting, your players, you're getting the salary cap, you're getting the draft picks, you're getting everything. And the Lakers are getting, all the other complementary pieces, right? Because we're in win now mode. You're in rebuild mode, right? So you don't need all these long-term contract guys. You need, that are all 26, 27, 28. Like you need young guys, we'll give you a Dalton Connect for doing us the favor or whatever, right? Now you're in business. But let me know your thoughts and opinions either way. I'd love to hear it down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.